First, Cabinet clears agency to monetize government land. Union Cabinet on Wednesday approved the setting up of National Land Monetization Corporation to monetize the surplus land and building assets of central public sector enterprise and other agency linked to the government. With the monetization of non-core assets, the government would be able to generate substantial revenues by monetizing the unused and underused asset. Centre has expressed its intention to unify the national capital's three civic bodies, south, north, east, which would need to be legally examined. Age limit removed for medical entrance. That is, the National Medical Commission has removed the upper age limit for NEET UG for admission to MBBS course across the country. Till now, the upper age cap was 25 years for unreserved candidates and 30 years for reserved candidates. Age limit removed for medical entrance by National Medical Commission. The Cabinet clears a new agency to monetize government surplus land. Monetization of ideal land is a part of Centre's strategy to reduce its business presence to the bare minimum and generate sources for future asset creation. Government had put out a 4-year national monetization pipeline worth an estimated 6 lakh crore. Road, railways and power sector assets will be comprised 66%. Key challenges of NLMC might face include lack of identifiable revenue streams in particular land asset, disputable revenue mechanism, various litigation, lack of clear titles and low interest among investors in remote land parcels. Flexibility will be provided to board of NLMC to hire, pay and retain experienced professionals from private sector. So far, CPEC have referred around 3,400 acres of land and other non-core assets to the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. Government is essentially transferring revenue rights to private parties for a specified transaction period in return for upfront money, revenue share and commitment investment in the asset. There's no important article here. Dowell calls for better coordination to address a shared maritime challenge. Dowell made this proposal. Drug trafficking and transnational organized crime to tackle this joint working group. The formation of joint working group to tackle the drug trafficking and transnational organized crime. CAC, which formed in 2011 as a trilateral maritime security grouping of India, Sri Lanka and Maldives, is expanding. It welcomes Mauritius as a fourth member at Wednesday meeting. Bangladesh specialists had attended as observers, have invited to join the group. Minilateral is being seen as India's outreach to Indian Ocean to underline the regional cooperation and shared security objectives, China's influence in areas of strategic importance. World Kidney Day. Balancing Act. Noting that China-European Union trade has exceeded $800 billion for the first time in 2021. Wang said the cooperation between China and Europe going through decades of ups and downs is deeply rooted in solid public support, extensive common interest and similar strategic needs. Such cooperation cannot be reversed by any force. Since Russia invaded Ukraine, Beijing had been and balanced its no-limit friendship with Moscow. Its vital economic relationship with the US and Europe needs to be seen and accepted as responsible power, but without yielding on its core belief. American unilateralism is the original sin. He also reiterated China's neutral formulations that the UN Charter on sovereignty and territorial integrity of all countries must be respected and the legitimate security concerns of all countries must be taken seriously. It is clear that Russia's action in Ukraine have left Beijing in a difficult position. Vladimir Putin would be able to pull a surgical operation. The sanctions against Russia are going to hurt Beijing as well. But it appears that China also sees an opportunity in the present moment to project itself as a country that believes in de-escalation. It seeks to play down the image of a country that needles its neighbors and indulge in coercive wolf warrior diplomacy. Beijing still considers US as its primary rival in its quest for global supremacy. Wang deliberates casting of Quad grouping as Asia NATO have been an attempt to draw comparison between the Indo-Pacific and conflict in the Europe. If any, in terms of security, China is beneficiary of the war in Ukraine, with the US preoccupied in Europe. Next one is, after evacuation, medical education system must be reformed to stop exodus students to make places like Ukraine. There is a serious demand-supply mismatch as well as inadequate seat in terms of population. In private colleges, these seats are priced at rupees 15 to 30 lakh per year, not including hostel expenses and study material. This is a way more than what most Indians can afford. It is difficult to comment on quality as nobody measures it. Students opting for medical career, with some exceptions, have two types: those who sees his path to social and economic mobility, and second category is the children of doctors, especially in private sector, whose parents want them to continue their legacy. Government's initiative to open new medical college has run into a serious faculty crunch, except at lowest level, where entrance comes. All the new colleges have done is poach faculty from current medical college. Academic quality continues to be serious concern. Another distinct feature of medical education in India is its complete disregards of students' welfare. Only top 0.25% of applicants get a seat in a decent government medical colleges. What do you do if your family have invested money and emotions in making you a doctor, and you do not get enough marks to qualify for government medical college? Many students used to settle for a bachelor in dental surgery degree. This led to mushrooming of dental colleges of dubious quality, and India produced far more dental surgeons than were in demand. Several of these colleges are down. The only option then is to do MBBS in the country that can afford. A situation of high demand coupled with a student unfriendly system is designed for the entry of middlemen. As soon as you register with the coaching agency or NEET results are out, you are bombarded with offers of agencies ensuring seats in Nepal, Mauritius, Ukraine, Russia, China, and so on. Parents are lured with spending their hard-earned savings by middlemen who paint a rosy picture of scenario in these countries. Even after this, these students often fail to clear the foreign medical graduate examinations. This has a pass rate of 15%. Caught between a parental pressure and unfriendly system, the students have nowhere to go. So what needs to be done? There are many who propose a rapid scale up of seats by converting district hospitals into medical colleges using a public-private partnership model. Niti Aayog seems to be moving in this direction. This is a dangerous idea without the government putting in place two things: a functional regulatory framework and good public-private model that serves the needs of private sector as well as in the country. We have so far failed miserably in both, largely due to the political private sector mixes. Recent efforts by National Medical Council to regulate the college fees are being restricted by medical colleges. The government would seriously consider subsidizing medical education even in the private sector, or look into the alternative ways of financing the medical education for disadvantaged students. Quality assessment of medical colleges should be regularly conducted, and reports should be available in the public domain. National Medical Council is proposing a common exit exam for all medical undergraduate as a quality control measure. No irregularity by women tailors in uniform supply. Jharkhand government. The tailors, all women from villages of Goda district, had earned more than 1.8 crore in wages in all between 2018 and 2020 by supplying uniform to the government schools. This had prompted Niti Aayog to hail the Goda model in December 2020 as the one that can be replicated by other aspirational districts in the state. Bihar shifts focus from drinkers to bootleggers. Bihar Cabinet on Tuesday approved the proposed amendment to the Bihar Prohibition and Excise Act 2016 that dilutes the punishment for the first-time drinkers from arrest to a fine. In case penalty is not paid, the offender will face a simple jail term of 1 month. The proposed amendment also provides for the police and excise department to consider relaxation, including the waiver of fine, if the drinkers identify the source of liquor purchase. The focus of the proposed amendment is on liquor smugglers, and a new subsection 50A defines bootlegging as an organized crime. In school data, COVID distress, enrollment dip in private, rise in government. Student enrollment saw a dip between 2019 to 2020 and 2020 to 2021 in the private schools. We registered a proportionate rise in government schools according to district level government data released on Wednesday, which may indicate the financial distress caused by pandemic. A closer look at the latest round of Unified District Information System for Education Plus data shows that primary and upper classes mainly accounts for the rise and fall in the enrollment of students in the government and private schools. Russian bombs children's hospital in Ukraine. Moscow invasion is about to take a brutal and indiscriminate turn. Police and soldiers rushed to scene to evacuate the victims. US man who got first pig heart transplant dies. The heart transplant was one of the number of pioneering procedures in the recent months in which organs from genetically altered pig were used to replace organs in human. Wedelsey is about 6.4 km. New guidelines for lower fees in private medical colleges. 3/4 of nearly 85,000 MBBS seats in the country will be offered at lower government determined fees when the new National Medical Commission guidelines on fee structures at private medical colleges kick in the next year. Private medical colleges, including deemed universities, will have to charge fees equivalent to the government medical colleges in their states for half of the total approved seats in their institutes. Half of the seats in the private colleges about 20,000 available to the students at lower tuition fees determined by the government. This is a big step as it essentially means that 75% of the total medical seats will be available at a nominal cost. Earlier, students have missed the government seats by few marks, could not study in the private medical college because of their higher cost, especially deemed universities. But it is natural that if the fees 50% total intake capacity have to be reduced, then the costs need to be offset, and it is likely that fees of management quota seats will become more expensive. In India, we have a problem of demand and supply. Seats in medical colleges are few and demand is high, which is also a reason for high cost. The Medical Council allows each medical colleges to offer more seats. We can offset the target naturally through a division. Turkey stakes in the war. Turkey has sought to mediate between Russia and Ukraine since the time tension rose. Turkey's interest in crisis, particularly in playing the role of mediator, is of significance. Turkey, as a gateway between Europe and Asia, is a country of many parts. It is a member of NATO, was at one time thought to be natural fit for membership in European Union, but it is also increasingly a religious conservative state whose authoritarian leaders wants to turn the clock back to Islamism. Russia is a friend of Turkey but also an age-old geopolitical rival going back to Russia-Ottoman War. Recep Tayyip Erdogan has said Turkey will never recognize this illegal action. Soviet Union days is a major return for Turkey. In Syria, Turkey fought for an opposite side, Russia to preserve the Bashar al-Assad presidency and Turkey on the side of group fighting him. A side show a Russia-Turkey battle of supremacy in the region as it played in the small territory of Idlib. in northwestern Syria on borders with Turkey, although Turkey was a part of Western coalition against Assad region. Turkey's economic dependence depends heavily on imports from Russia. Bilateral trade was about $16.4 million, and the biggest item imported from Russia was refined petroleum. There is a gas pipeline now under the Black Sea from Russia to Turkey. In 2020, Turkey bought S-400 troops surface-to-air missile defense system from Russia and was sanctioned by US under CAATSA law. Russia is building a nuclear power plant in Ayuko in southern Turkey. Turkey is also close trading and strategic partner of Ukraine. Their bilateral trade in 2019 was about $2.15 million, and Turkey is a major exporter to Ukraine. Biggest exporter in 2019 was refined petroleum. Turkey also supplies Ukraine with a lethal missile carrier drone. Erdogan made a visit to Kyiv, signed a free trade agreement and agreement to manufacture the armed long-range Bayraktar drone in Ukraine. Russia has been angry with Turkey for arming Ukraine. Earlier, the West was angry with Turkey for supplying drones to the Azerbaijan army during the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. It appears that Turkey has indigenized the necessary parts for the drone. It has rejected Russia's recognition of republics of Luhansk and Donetsk. Turkey also invoked clauses of 1936 Montreux Convention, a convention that put Turkey in charge of Bosphorus and Dardanelles Straits to bar the passage of warships through the Bosphorus Strait. Turkey has also said that under the terms of convention, it cannot stop war of Black Sea littoral countries. Russia is one of them from returning to their home base. Further, Erdogan has said Turkey cannot abandon ties with the Ukraine or Russia. Scheme portability. Labour men looking to widen the pension ambit. Labour Ministry is considering bringing in a proposal to tweak rules for pension scheme under Employee Provident Fund organization to ensure wider coverage for workers who move into unorganized sector. Social security and convergence of scheme to ensure universalization of social security for workers both unorganized and organized sector. At present, all those employees in the organized sector whose basic pay plus dearness allowance is up to rupees 15,000 per month at the time of joining service are mandatorily covered under Employee Provident Scheme 95, with an 8.33% of the employer's contribution going towards Employee Provident Fund Scheme and the remaining 3.61% to WATS EPF. E-Shram portal aimed for unorganized sector is doing registration based on format of 12-digit UAN number, which also existed EPFO. Hence, UAN will be common for workers. It can be identified which segments he is working for. Easing pressure. What does $5 billion rupee swap means? Reserve Bank of India conducted $5 billion rupee swap action as a part of liquidity management initiative, leading to infusion of dollars and sucking out of the rupee from the financial system. That's all. Thank you.